On May 25th, AI Solutions held its second annual Fireside Chat, Amplify Her Voice, at the headquarters office located in Lanham, Maryland. At AI Solutions, we celebrate and amplify women in STEM all year long, and we know that by recognizing, celebrating, and amplifying the contributions of one another, we are smarter and we are better. Hosted by the female executive leaders of our company, Christy Finner, Deborah Hickox, and Marissa Ashe, the event brought together women across the nation, amazingly distinguished guests, and 5 extraordinary panelists whom you'll meet in just a bit. But first, let's meet the host of this spectacular event. Meet Marissa. With over 30 years of experience in engineering and the development of launch vehicles for Earth observation spacecraft, Marissa Ashe is an expert in business development and operational business execution. As our Vice President of Business Development, she leads a team of strategic, capture, proposal, and marketing professionals. If you know Marissa and have seen the growth of AI since her start 20 years ago, she wins big and throws the best win parties. She enjoys spending her off time with her grandkids, Solora, Blakely, and Braxton, and being active in her church. Next, we have our Chief Financial Officer, Deborah Hickox. With over 35 years of professional experience in the fields of finance and accounting, Deborah Hickox is an expert in strategic planning, accounting, mergers, and acquisitions. If you've known Deborah over the past 13 years and seen the growth of AI, she wins big too. Deborah is passionate about mentoring through promoting education and providing opportunities for the growth of those around her. In her downtime, she enjoys exploring the outdoors with her husband and 3 rescue pups, Henry, Ivy, and Monkey. And last but certainly not least, with over 25 years of experience in executing HR business strategy, our Chief Human Resources Officer, Christy Finner, is an expert in human capital management, talent acquisition, and total compensation strategy. For over 18 years with AI Solutions, she has been a fearless proponent for diversity and is dedicated to delivering an engaged workforce that reflects the STEM population across the globe. In her spare time, she is a wife, Uma to Stella, Spear, and Honor, certified yoga instructor, and endurance athlete. And now, let's meet our panelists. Colonel Yvonne Spencer is the Senior Air Force Advisor to the Office of Local Defense Community Cooperation, responsible for assisting state and local governments to respond to impacts from defense activities. Throughout her 28-year career, she has served in a variety of positions at the installation, major command and headquarters levels to include 6 command assignments. She has broken barriers throughout her career in the Air Force, becoming the first woman and first African American to lead the Air Force's premier combat engineering unit, known as the 819th Red Horse. Colonel Spencer is an 8-time full-distance Ironman finisher, a 2020 long-course triathlon team member, and multi-year all-world athlete. In 2015, she created a women's empowerment and support network called Fast Chicks. It is a national women's triathlon group of over 1,000 members striving to remove barriers by empowering and educating women in the sport. And last year, she was appointed as a General Director of the USA Triathlon Board of Directors. Reverend Dr. Gwendolyn Boyd is a nationally recognized champion of education, engineer, a dynamic leader, a prolific motivational speaker, a powerful preacher, and a prominent advocate for STEM education. She was nominated by President Barack Obama and confirmed by the Senate to serve as a trustee to the Barry M. Goldwater Scholarship and Excellence in Education Foundation in 2009. Dr. Boyd served as the 22nd National President of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated with over 300,000 initiated members. She serves on numerous boards of directors and has received countless honors, commendations, and numerous congressional, national leadership, and professional awards. She was the first African-American female to earn a Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering at Yale University, earned both the Master of Divinity and the Doctor of Ministry degrees from Howard University, and returned to her alma mater, Alabama State University, in 2014 as the first female president of the university. Jackie Small is Vice President of Requirements and Capabilities for the Raytheon Space Systems Strategic Business Unit at Raytheon Intelligence and Space. She is responsible for developing and executing growth strategies across the United States Department of Defense and intelligence communities, international and civilian space, and command and control markets. She provides critical thought leadership to shape and lead market trends while maintaining a thorough understanding of customer environments. Fun fact, Jackie started her career here at AI Solutions. Kajal Pancholi serves as the President and Chief Executive Officer of Avatar Technologies Incorporated. Kajal is a licensed professional engineer with over 20 years of space and defense industry experience as a business development executive, aerospace engineer, program manager, and quality assurance professional. She progressively supported various space and defense systems design, development, integration, and testing projects for the MDA, NASA, Navy, and Air Force. She has also helped establish and manage STEM internship, engineering quality management, and DoD mentor-protege programs. She currently serves on the University of Maryland's Women in Engineering Advisory Board, supporting women and minorities in STEM fields. Lisa McLeod is an advisor, consultant, and speaker who works with senior executives and sales teams around the world. She is the author of 5 best-selling books and a sought-after keynoter. Known for her authenticity and humor, Lisa has been the number 4 sales guru in the world by Global Gurus. She has inspired millions of learners on LinkedIn Learning with courses on sales, leadership, and purpose at work. Her work has also been featured in Forbes, Fortune, and the New York Times. Now that you've met our hosts and panelists, let's tune in for a riveting conversation.
All right, it'll go quick. One answer, and I'll come back around.
I'm as ready.
Texting or talking?
Talking.
All right. Nickname your parents used to call you?
Kajal.
Okay. Last song you downloaded?
Oh, Lord. John Denver's Country Roads.
All right.
I have more questions about that one.
Dr. Boyd, how long does it take you to get ready in the morning?
1 hour.
1 hour. All right. Lisa, scale of 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
4.
I'm proud to admit that. All right. Invisibility or super strength?
Ooh. Invisibility.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Kajal. First celebrity crush?
Oh. I grew up watching Bollywood. So as a Bollywood actress, I
There you
go
go.
on.
Okay.
As a Bollywood actor, so I don't expect a lot to know in the room.
Jackie, do you dance when no one is watching?
Not anymore.
Too tired.
I know.
Dr.
For real,
Boyd, worst
for
subject in
real.
high school?
History.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Lisa, favorite childhood show?
Mary Tyler Moore.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
that old. There's more?
There's more. What is the best non-curse word, one-word insult?
Noted.
So my kids call me.
Noted.
I love it.
Kajal, is double dipping ever acceptable at a party?
Oh.
I'm gonna say yes, but but I was like, sure, why not?
All right, Jackie, besties,
But I
Beyonce
think
or
the person
Rihanna? Oh, I'm sorry.
Beyonce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Boyd, how many hours of sleep do you need?
8.
8. Okay. Lisa,
I love
what is your favorite word?
Really?
All right, last one, and we will turn it over for questions. Do you believe in love at first sight? There's all girls in the room.
Okay. Yes.
What word do you hate hearing?
No.
Ooh, come on, say that again.
No.
Jackie, what's something you could eat for a week straight?
Chocolate.
Ooh. Dr. Boyd, what's the best age?
50.
Ooh, nice.
Oh,
Nice sweet spot.
Agreed.
Godfather or Star Wars, Lisa?
Star Wars.
Okay. I said last round, but now we're going to go deeper. If you could spend a day in someone else's shoes, whose would it be?
My goodness. Oh, wow. That is a good one.
We want to know about you.
I think I would like to spend a day in my 4-year-old niece's shoes. Right? No cares, no bills, just happy and free. Just do whatever. To be four again.
There it is.
There you go.
Ajo, who or what was your biggest teacher?
My biggest teacher was in 4th grade. I love science, and I think that's where my love of astronomy started. So I'm blanking on her name, but I remember her being so passionate about science and astronomy, and that was just amazing.
Awesome. Thank you. Jackie, what does a person need to be happy?
Oh, I think fun.
Yes, what an answer. Dr. Boyd, what does success mean to you?
Being your authentic self.
And Lisa, this is really the last question. Who inspires you?
Lucille Bridges.
Okay. I know who that is. All right. Thank you, ladies. All right.
Okay, we have a few questions for our panelists, and this is the first one. The topic is amplify or compete. So we recognize that we live and work in a competitive environment, especially here in the DC area. And what happens when our competitor is another woman? Is there enough shine for us all? Furthermore, we have all met that sister. We've all met her. Yeah. And, you know, she's on the journey from competition to hopefully amplification. And how do we love her to life through that journey? Ladies?
All right.
I knew you would
Colonel
look at me
Spencer,
first.
yes.
Yes. Before I get started, I must say that the views that I speak of this evening are my personal views and not necessarily those associated with the Department of Defense or the United States Air Force. All right, we all clear? All clear on that. Noted. So I thought long and hard about that particular question because in my career, I have found that even though there are not a lot of women in the United States Air Force in the engineer service, the women have been my biggest challenges. Challenges to my authority, to my leadership. You wouldn't think so, but that has been the case. And so what I found is, you know, the little quote, there's no limit to the good that can be done if you don't care who gets the credit. And that's really what the military organization is about. We have a mission. We have one mission. And everyone moves forward towards that goal. So when I run into a sister or not, that is causing a little bit of challenge, I use a little bit of emotional intelligence and I try to find out what is her angle? What is the reason that there's a conflict? Now, granted, just because we're women doesn't mean we all need to get along. Let's just put that out there right now. But when I'm able to figure out what her angle is, typically I'm in a position where I can set her up in the best opportunities for her to shine in her own right. And being able to find that piece is really key, because what you don't want is for the limited resources, meaning women in an organization, to be at each other's throats, to compete against each other, because that's how some of these organizations are designed. You have one woman that's at the table, you have others, and you're comparing, you're saying, oh, well, Susie wear her hair that way, and that looks really great. And I don't, does Dawn really need to wear her pants? Like, they create these conflicts. So finding out what really makes that other sister tick, and then finding an opportunity for her to be able to shine within the limelight. Sometimes I got to take a step back, and that's okay, because what? The good will still get done. The mission will still get done. And I don't care who does it, as long as it gets done. So that's my point.
Thanks for starting that.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else want to weigh in?
I'll take a shot. So I love the Amplify. So I was lucky to start my career here because there weren't very many of us. It was like, we were talking about it, I think it was like less than 10 in a 50-person company. And half of us are actually in this room right now. So I never felt like there was competition, because as a young engineer, I just felt like part of the team. And then throughout my career, I've luckily been in positions where I've been able to pull other women through. I have had other women, to your point, be very competitive. And in one case, I actually got hired by a company where the woman was my part of my interview panel. And when I first started my job, she's like, so this is how it's going to be. And I was like, oh, I had never experienced that in my career. And so I remind myself of that occasionally, as I don't want to ever be like that. And the mission, especially in the defense industry and aerospace, is we need so many talented people. There's room for everyone. And we need everybody to be able to accomplish, the mission of protecting our country, and also exploring the world and the universe. So I'm on the Amplify, and luckily I've been able to kind of build up diverse teams and bring women in, and try to mentor as many as I can. They seem to be like where they're drawn to you. If you're a female in leadership, you kind of get the knock on the door more than, the young men that sometimes knock on the door to be mentored. But I'm trying to give it back through like mentorship of those women too.
All right. Thank you, Jackie. Lisa?
I've actually given this a lot of thought. And early in my career, I was with a big company. And it was one of those, there's 50 of you in a room, look to your left, look to your right. One of you is not going to be here. And super fun. And we knew of the 50 of us, 5 of us were getting promoted. And I also knew there's probably only going to be one woman. And so I knew my competition is these other 10 women. And if I could go back in time, and I competed against them, the women more than the men. And I look back on that, and I'm disappointed that I did that. But I also, to your point, I want to grant myself some grace, because that system was set up to be that way. And I want to go back to little 25-year-old me and say, you were trying to do your best in this system that was set up this way. And maybe you should have spoken a little differently. I didn't do anything terrible to anybody, but nor was I helpful. And I wish that I could undo that. And I read an article, we've talked about this in the Washington Post. Oh, it was 10 years ago. And it was about something that the women in the Obama administration do. Do you all know about this? With amplifying. And it's when another woman says something, and you've probably all been in that situation where you'll say something and then a guy will pick up on your idea and they'll all go, oh, great idea, Herb. And so what they said, the women in the Obama administration did, was when a woman had a good idea, said something, they'd go, well, I love what Clarice said. And when Clarice introduced that, I knew it was a good idea. And even if somebody else started talking about that, saying, Herb, I love that you're building on Clarice's idea. And like the second I read that, I just thought that is the easiest, most practical thing in the world to do.
Absolutely.
And I'm stunned by how well it works, because I'm an outside consultant. So I'll see it happening in a room. And it is so easy to amplify women in that way, because it's factual. It's happening right there live time.
I just want to add, since I'm older than all of them on the stage,
No,
I had no
not me.
competition because I was the only one in the room.
There you go.
But in order to make sure that when I left the room, there was somebody coming in behind me, I always wanted to make sure to create programs. So I was at Hopkins for 33 years, and I created programs to bring in young people, especially from HBCUs and minority institutions, which they were ignoring because they said, we can't find good people there. And I said, I'm one of those people because I graduated from an HBCU. So I say to all of you that wherever you are, make sure you take the opportunity to support someone else. Because when they see that you're supporting them, the competition will go away. Again, I rode nuclear submarines for 20 years. I was the only woman on board. And just tell this quick story. The first time I went out, again, I think there were only 2 African Americans and 1 woman. That was me. So you could see when people are talking about you, right? When they're over there.
Yeah.
And you know they're talking about you. You just know it, right? You don't even have to hear the conversation. You know they're talking about you.
Yeah.
And so one brave soul came over to me and he said, ma'am, are you lost?
Oh no.
I said, young man. It took 4 clearances just to get on this base. It took 3 clearances to get on this submarine. It took 2 additional clearances because of the work that I did, and I can't tell you because I have to shoot you. But it took 2 clearances to get into this space, and to be standing where I am, I had to have permission from the Pentagon. Do you really think I'm lost? So you've got to walk away from anybody that thinks you don't belong in the space, wherever you stand and whatever you're doing, because that's the part where the competition becomes real. And that's when you ask me about success, being my authentic self. I never let go of that. And, for all the 20 years I was there, they didn't know my name, but they would always ask, is the woman coming with us on this? Is the woman? And so that meant that what I was doing was making a difference and an impact, because it was going from ship to ship. And when I would arrive, they said, oh yeah, our colleagues told us about you. Of course, you don't have, I don't have a name, but again, when you're authentic, it is that you can compete with you. It will come because both of you know, or all 50 of you know, that you belong in that space. And what's for you is for you, and you will get it.
That means you are, and we're a contractor for the United States government. That means you are in competition with the other woman-owned small businesses for your spot on teams, or, to do the work for set-asides. But, I've always believed in that. I always lead with, this is what I do. I leave, yes, then the primes will ask, are you a woman-owned small business? Yes, I am. I check the boxes that you need me to check. But you always start with what the doctor said. You start with your authentic self. This is what I'm capable of. This is the passion I have in what I do, and what I am. And I want to do this. And it shines. It shines to whoever I talk to. That, I check your boxes. And I am in competition with those other women, but I love doing this. So be your authentic self. But that said, so that's in the business world, but I go to the University of Maryland a lot. I'm on the Women Engineering Advisory Board, and I love talking to the students, because that's who really needs the amplifications. And it's so funny. We think sitting up here that, hey, the new generation, they understand equality is always a part of the conversation, and social media, they're going to change the world. And it's so funny. They need our support and they need our amplification, because even today, in 2020, last year, I had lunch with a young woman, and she said, I'm on my design team, mechanical engineering senior design team. And I always bring the cookies because the boys get hangry if I don't. And I said, girl, it's 2022. Everyone brings their own snacks, all right? Everyone's mama taught them how to bring snacks. wherever you buy cookies, they can get them too. None of that. But it's so important to the mentorship and bringing up the next level to amplify them too. Because when I went to school, it was very few women, and I didn't have a lot of women engineers coming or just doing panels or hearing like, what do they really do? But I knew I had a passion for space. That's what I wanted to do. And so I like to go back and tell them, hey, this is a possible path. There are so many possible paths, but here, don't bring the cookies. And most of them want to know, what do I do with my life and how do I deal with the boys? That's most of their questions. What do I do? Yeah, like they don't listen to me. Well, speak up. You know, it's the no, okay, and deal with their scenarios. But I'm so proud they have come a little way, but there's a lot to do. So amplify the next generation up. They're not as far as long as I've learned. They're not as far as long as I thought they would be.
Right.
In 2023.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for those very inspirational stories. We appreciate it. And for the next question, I'll turn it over to my colleague Marissa.
Excellent. Okay. Wow. This is amazing already. Already. We're on question number 2. Okay. So it's no secret that women often wear multiple hats. We've been talking about that, both in our personal lives and in the workplace. But how does juggling all these responsibilities impact our mental health? While our home and work lives are supposed to be separated, we know that's not always how reality pans out. With employees, especially women, leaving the workplace in droves these days, employers need to promote work-life balance. Now more than ever, if they want to make sure that they attract and, more importantly, retain women from all backgrounds and experiences. We can't ignore the fact that women are often overburdened with family care, household work, and demanding jobs, all while attempting to excel at all of those. Women often come home from their jobs and then swoop in to make dinner, help children or other family members with tasks, attend to emotional needs of their loved ones, and complete a myriad of other chores. Since May is Emotional Mental Health Awareness Month, we wanted to hear your thoughts on how to handle things when they get really tough and you just want to tap out. And Lisa, we're going to start with you. I'm giving Colonel Spencer a break here.
Okay. So I started my own business when I had a 1-year-old. And I did it because I had a 70-hour-a-week travel job, and I worked for an insane alcoholic to whom I'm eternally grateful, because if only one of those had been true, I might not have started my own business. So I did it for that reason. And I used to talk about, people were like, oh, what inspired you, to start your own business? Well, I worked for a crazy alcoholic. And so I've learned to be really candid. I spent 15 years working part-time, owning my own business. I probably didn't get ahead, and I watched during that time my peers that stayed in the workforce start to make partner and start to be VPs and all these things. And I watched my peers that were staying home with their kids. I always felt like they were the real mothers, because they did all this stuff. And I felt like I was kind of stagnating. In reality, I was not. In reality, I was actually doing a very good job, and I worked doing corporate consulting. And while I wasn't progressing, I was learning a lot. In that 15-year period, I was learning a lot that would enable me to skyrocket when that time was done. So I don't really have a good answer because I only have my own journey. But I do remember the thing that used to make me crazy. I did seminars. And so I would do a seminar for a group of people. I like to talk a lot. So but at the end of the day, I'd be all talked out. And I'd go out to dinner with them. And they would always ask me, a lot of them were women. I did seminars for a lot of healthcare companies. And I go by a double name, Lisa Earl McLeod, and I wear a wedding ring. So I presented as a married person, and I would mention my husband. So they would always ask me the same thing. Well, who watches your children while you're out of town? Because I'd be like out of town doing this seminar. And No one ever asked men that. No one. And I would be just enraged, like way more enraged than the question merited. I would just be enraged. And a lot of times the people asking me this are the client, so I can't say, well, their father. And so we were talking in the green room about tone. So I came up with this answer, which is actually a bit of an answer to your question. And the answer was, well, you've met me. What do you think would be easier, for my husband to watch the children or explain to me why he can't? Which would you pick if you were him? And so I don't have a great answer other than if you have a partner, and everyone doesn't have a partner, but we all have different people in our lives, that I often think we should, I was about to say we don't ask enough. We shouldn't even ask. We should expect. We should just expect more. And expecting more of my own partner led to a lot of disagreements over the years. But we've grown children. My 30-year-old daughter is my business partner. So it worked. But expecting more was a gift to him. And he took 2 decades. But expecting more of the people around you is a gift to them. And we need to give them that gift a little more often than we do. That'd be my answer.
Thank you.
My answer will be short. I have,
Sorry.
no, because I have no children in my house, but I have tons of people and children who are always calling me, other people's children. Can we do this? Can we do this? So, I have the external family. The village is very big, but no one's in my house. So I just wanted to preface it with that. But I think we were talking about mental health and taking care of yourself. First of all, I'm a woman of faith. You heard the introduction, Reverend Doctor. So I believe God for everything. And when you want to know, first of all, you need to walk in your purpose. And when you're walking in your purpose, then things, whatever faith, whatever it is you need to do, you will have that peace. The other thing I would say, and you've heard this 1,000 times, no is a complete sentence.
Right. Yeah.
Noted.
When you feel yourself getting to that point of burnout and losing control, no. And you haven't hurt their feelings. You're saving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And my new best friend, Dana, also gave me some clue today. We were just talking about this. She's a yoga instructor, by the way. We were talking about mental health. You need to download, I want to get it right, before you go to bed, because your mind won't stop working until you put all of that on paper or on your phone and then release it until the next day. Because you need sleep. When she asked me how many hours I sleep, I go to bed at 9 o'clock. People do not call me after 9 o'clock. You train people how to treat you. So don't call me because I'm not going to answer until the next morning. So, unless the house is on fire, you won't hear from me. But you have to train people how to treat you. And you are the only one who knows what you need for you. Mental health says, I need this, I need rest, I need to go on vacation. I just need 1 hour of peace and quiet. Shut the door. The answer is no. I'll be with you in about an hour. So, again, it's not from the perspective of family and, husbands or anything. I don't have any of that. But just from who I am, to take, because I'm not married and because I don't have children, everybody, oh, you can do this. Okay, you can do this. And you can, everybody, gets thrown in your direction.
Right.
Stop the madness.
Yes.
So we can share.
Thank
Just
you.
remember, no is a complete sentence.
That's excellent.
We're going down the line.
Yeah, sure.
Oh gosh, it's a hard question for me. So I have 3 kids, and it's not, I will say I've done like this with balancing work and life. My current role, I travel a lot. And so I was listening to you and thinking partner. I'm like, yeah, I guess choose a good partner that's going to do half the work. But even if you don't have kids, like you could be a working female with no children and you have a partner. And if you're still doing all of that stuff when you get home and having no help, like that's going to be mentally tough. My thing, I think, is I consistently do my exercise in the morning. I mean, I cannot make it through a day without going for a walk or riding the bike or going for a run. And I've done it pretty much my whole life, even through pregnancy, everything. And I think it kind of, maybe like yoga, it just like clears my head and gives me an hour of peace. And when my kids were little, I mean, I'd take them with me in the stroller, or I'd have them, they'd be playing on the floor. I'd be like, if mommy's on the treadmill, like, unless there's a fire or someone's bleeding, do not bother me. And, and that was me training them, I know. But now my kids, like, they wake up and they work out, so it's kind of funny. But I think it is like establishing your boundaries with your team early. And I do try to treat my team kind of the way I expect to be treated too. Like there are things that come up in a job where you have to work on a weekend or, you know, do a proposal over a holiday. But I try as best as I can to not bother them late at night unless it's an emergency, unless there's a fire or bleeding or the weekend. You know, I have some tough conversations I have to have with my team in the next week or so. And I think through things like, I don't want to do it on a Friday because it's a holiday weekend and I don't really want to ruin their weekend because that's terrible. So I think reminding yourself too that you're a human and so are the people around you. And so none of us are gonna be perfect, but finding those things that, you know, give you peace, like what is part of you? For me, it's my exercise. Like, you know, thing that you love, try not to give that up. Even if you're in the hardest job you've ever taken, keep time for that because that might be the thing that mentally keeps you strong and gives you the resilience and the grit that you need to get through your day-to-day and get through those hard times. But then also try to find that balance. When I'm home with my kids, we went to dinner last night. I told the family, like, I don't want to cook because I've been gone. I was gone on Monday. I'm gone Thursday and Friday. I'm like, let's go out for dinner and just no electronic devices, just talk. And I really try. Like I tried not to have my phone there because I want them to not see mommy like this all the time. And so I think there's just little things that you kind of tweak along the course of your career based on the job that you have. And then to your point, I mean, there's times I had a young lady I was mentoring and her boss let her go on a 32-hour work week. And she's like, I just feel like maybe I should come fully back. I'm like, well, is he supportive? She's like, yes. I'm like, are you getting opportunities to do more things and enjoying it? Yes. I'm like, do you like the fact that you get home at 3 and get your child at daycare with enough time before dinner to play? Yes, I love that. And I might want another kid. I'm like, then why are you worried? Like, just accept that your boss is so supportive. I said, I was too scared to ask that stuff young in my career. I just felt like, to the point earlier, I felt like I wouldn't keep up if I did that. I'm like, if you have support and you are fulfilled, isn't that enough? You know, so that's my little tip.
Excellent. Yes.
No, it's fantastic. For me, it's having these conversations, being here. The pandemic put us all at home in a little bubble, dealing with at home, and we're working at home and all of that, and we're in our bubbles. We're not having a lot of these. Yeah, we have girlfriends and folks in our circle that we call maybe, but you're so there 24/7. And I personally got pregnant during the pandemic. I had a baby during the pandemic. My parents live very close by. They're super helpful. But it's a bubble of that. That's our world. We live in a bubble. And so now today we're having this conversation. It's so important. I'm on the panel, but I need pointers on how to work-life balance with a 2.5-year-old today. I mean, it is a lot. I talked about it backstage. I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll bring her here. She'll terrorize everyone. So it is a lot. She has way more energy than I do. And how do you balance that? And then, sometimes it's after she goes to bed, it's time to turn back the laptop on and keep working. But my other advice, non-mom, that aside, earlier in my career, I was afraid of change. We all get stuck in this routine and, oh gosh, I don't know. I don't want to do this anymore, but I don't know, what's out there. And we're not trained to, there's some research out there that says when a man looks at a job opening, he'll glance at it quickly and he'll just apply. And when a woman looks at a job opening, they'll read every single bullet point. Like, I don't think I qualify because I don't meet this bullet point number 6. It's not important always. As now an employer, it's not always important to meet all bullet points. But this is the statistic. And so so we're that afraid, like, I can't do it. We have that resistance of change or moving along. And it's important to know. And I tell the students this, don't be afraid of the change. Go forward, make the change. I love what I do today. I wake up every day. I'm excited to turn the laptop on after I get the toddler all settled with grandma. But I love what I do, and that's so great. And it has been a blessing because I do run my own business, that I get that flexibility, like Lisa was alluding to do both and balance both now. But it was that pre-baby and just me and my husband, and that resistance to change left me in a situation that I don't 100% love all the time. And so don't be afraid of the change. Try something new. If it's not working, if that balance isn't working, whatever it is, at a home front or on the professional front, go for it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to fail. And then what? You're still employable. You're here, right? You guys have all of the women here have lots of great qualifications. You're still employable. The job market's hot. No one's going to starve to death. You're going to have food for you and your families and whoever your loved one, and nobody's going to fail. So just take that leap, because I learned later than I should have been. So that's my advice.
That's great. Excellent advice for sure.
Yeah.
So I read that question wrong. But I think my story still applies, so you all bear with me.
Yeah,
So when I thought of tap out, I thought of wrestling. Tap out, 1, 2, 3, I'm done. I'm out of here. And so the time that I wanted to tap out professionally had nothing to do with my mental fatigue, but it was my ego that was challenged. It was my loneliness that was challenged. So I typically start this one out with, how many of you all have been fired? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But whenever I do it in a group of my airmen, they're sitting around like, oh, the colonel got fired. Oh my goodness. But the time that I got fired was, I was in Korea. So bear with me with the story. It'll be really fast. In Korea, that assignment is 1 year, 12 months. Without anyone that you know. So I go to Korea, I know no one. So I'm creating friendships. I'm creating my bubble over there. And I ran into a leader, which his style didn't match my style. So when I went to squadron officer school, they teach you about leadership styles. And I always thought the leader adjusts to the subordinate. Yeah, that's wrong. No. The subordinate adjusts to the leadership style. And I learned that the hard way. I ran into a leader. His idea of a woman in the military was that I needed to be in the back seat, that we didn't belong. He always made little comments about, just sexist comments, not directly to me, but in a midst where I could hear it. And so he created that environment. And he did not want me in the role that I was in, period, end dot. And so we bumped heads a little bit. Well, actually a lot, because he fired me in my position. So let's be honest, he fired me in my position. But like I said, it's a year-long assignment. He has to put me somewhere. When he fired me, he sent me back to my room essentially with no dinner. So when you're in Korea, you're on a small base, which is like a little city that has a Popeyes, cafeteria, one place for a gym. Everything is all together. And you cannot leave unless, Papa says yes. So he essentially fired me and sent me to my room. And when I went to my room, I had to do some thinking. And mentally, I was like, you know what? I'm out. This is it. I don't need to do this. I don't need to be here for this. The Air Force sent me to be a leader. He doesn't want me to be a leader. Boom, I'm out. And I had to do a little bit of soul searching. I went through the 5 stages of grief quickly. I skipped denial because it was true. I was fired. So then I went to the other stages. I mean, it's true. You're fired. You can't deny it. There it is. Yeah. And now you have to accept it. And I made some phone calls because, again, I didn't really know anyone there. And the people that I reached back to, they said, number one, if you go back into your office with an attitude, he has won. If you go back into your office with your head down, sulking, he has won.
right.
If you go back into your office bad mouthing that leader, guess what? He has won, and those people that you are leading are now looking at you side-eyed. I mean, you done already got fired, so you don't want to add anything on top of that. But I realized mentally I had to get over that ego. I had to move past that. I had to recognize maybe what I gave to, you know, to build this situation. Maybe I had a little bit to do with it. I don't know. And then I also had to recognize, you know, when you talk about the work-life balance, there's no such thing. There's really no such thing of having it equally balanced. Some days work is going to take a little bit more. Some days your personal is going to take a little bit more. And I gave a little bit more to my personal than I did to my work. And once I got fired, I took that step back and I realized those things that I needed to do to do better, because he had to put me someplace. So he put me in some assignment that he thought I was just going to melt away. And it turned out to be the highlight of the entire installation. When I got into that role, the airmen that I was leading, because they watched me in my actions of what happened when I ran into adversity, they were more eager to follow me and to do what needed to be done. And because of them pulling around me, helping me, supporting me, I'm here today as a colonel, because I was about to get, I was in that promotion zone. So, you know, your professional, your appraisal is written. And if it doesn't say certain things, guess what? I'll be a captain forever, right? And so I was in that realm right there. But because of sitting back, taking stock of what was going on mentally, those things I needed to do to be a leader and to step out, I was able to overcome. So, I mean, when you talk about tapping out, sometimes you just got to think about, is it worth it? Do I want that entity to win if I tap out? If I tap out, then who's coming behind me? Nobody. Who's watching me? Now they see, well, Captain Spencer tapped out. I might as well tap out too. So that's my share about tap out.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies.
You have any more quick questions? Or
No more quick questions.
Okay.
But you know what? We're going to have you guys give a challenge to the room.
Oh,
We've leveled up. You know,
Level
we've
up,
broken
level
some
up, level up,
ceilings. We've blazed some trails. What's next? What is next for us to do? Where do we have to go? So I just want to go down. You can just shout it out. I want to hear from everyone. Put a dare out to the room. We have a room full of women. They have places to go. This is the future. Daughters are watching across the world. What's the challenge from you? You've done the work, but what's your challenge for the next generation and those watching tonight? Anyone can jump in, but I want to hear from everybody.
I'll jump in to say
She might be the mic drop, though.
I know.
I've been doing this for a long time.
Give us the chance. I think you go live.
Okay, I'm sorry.
She's like, kerneling. I think you're right.
We're listening.
No, because I've been doing this for a while, I believe in women supporting women, and I believe in reaching back for the generation that's coming behind. We were talking in the green room, or whatever the room was back there, and I was saying to my new best friend here, they're all my new best friends. I'm from Alabama. Let that soak in.
No.
Right. And all my life, people told me, Black girls don't do math. Black girls don't do science. You need to find something else to do. So I say to you, I know all of you are doing great things, but there's some young girls watching you and watching how you handle it, how you talk about math and science, and how you talk to them versus how you talk to your sons or your nephews or others who are doing projects. Oh, that's awesome. Do you say that to her? So we have to be very, very careful in our language to the girls who are watching us. And, you know, do we really enjoy what we're doing? You know, again, work-life balance, all of that we've been talking about. but know that if they're not saying anything to you, they're watching you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
again, don't have any children in my household, but lots of phone calls. Dr. Boyd, I think I like math. I think, okay, you can do it.
Mhm.
Just celebrated with one of my mentees. She just got her master's in biomechanical engineering from Georgia State.
Right.
But she was willing to reach out and talk to me when she was afraid.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
afraid. Open the door to them so they can talk to you.
Yes.
Dare to be vulnerable to them.
Yes.
Say, I love math and science, but there were things that, history, no, end of sentence.
True.
But be vulnerable. Don't be the superwoman hero. Everything wasn't perfect. Everything, every situation, every job wasn't perfect. But I made it because I was determined to be all that I could be, to do all that God planted in me. Yeah, that's yours. That's yours. I'm sorry. Okay, all right, sorry. But there's so much potential in them. They just need an opportunity. So somebody walked through the door and left it open for you. So we have to continue not to just break glass ceilings, but to shatter them. Because when you shatter it, you can't put it back together again.
There you go.
If you break it, when you shatter it, that means we're coming through no matter what.
All right.
And if you try to stop us, we're coming through linking arms together. And give them the courage that somebody gave you to step in whatever it is you're doing, whatever career path you're following. And know that change is there. I've worked at Hopkins. I've been a college president. I've been president of my sorority. I've done a lot of things. And now I'm a preacher of the gospel. Your life is not over until you stop breathing. So whatever it is you want to do, just do it. I know that's Nike, but just do it.
Told y'all. I mean, find another mic. There you go. Who wants to follow that one? There you go, ladies.
Okay. I'll say mine. Say your piece. Feels very vulnerable.
Step up to the challenge.
Mine's I feel like this is gonna be way. So I will challenge each of you to write out your goals for where you want to be. There's power in written word, and write out. This is where I want to be in 5 years. This is where I want to be in 10 years, and this is where I want to be in 15 years. And you can't just leave it there and say, okay, it's there forever. You have to revisit it, because 5 years from now, where you had wanted to be in 10 years might change. Something else might come up. But there is power in writing it down and just reaffirming to yourself that that's where you want to go. I mean, I still do it to this day. It changes. But I think having that written goal and written place where you want to be is very powerful, because it keeps you on track, and it reminds you of how many times you said, wow, I did it. Wow, I did it. And that's motivating, and it inspires yourself, and it keeps you kind of on your game, because what do you need to do then to get there? And that's what I would say. Write it down.
Thank you.
That was hard.
Well, I have to say, I agree with the Reverend Doctor said. You got to pull everybody up. In my field of passion, aerospace, space systems, Hidden Figures is a beautiful movie, and I don't want to, make fiction is real and all that, but that those people really existed. That is reality. Yeah, Hollywood may have, Amplify made their story more sexy for the masses to consume the movie. But those people really existed, and watching that movie helped me dig into the real history and reality. But that is so inspirational, and we were watching them, and you don't know how many people. We go to the University of Maryland, or sometimes we have events at the University of Maryland where we bring in the high school and middle school girls who are interested in STEM fields to talk to them, and you don't know how many times they bring that movie up, that they are watching, they're paying attention, that could be me. I could be the human calculator or human computer. For NASA, that's amazing. And now we have computers, but I could do the next thing. So for me, success, I want a woman on Mars. I want a woman taking her child to Mars. I mean, that's my passion area.
Having a baby.
So, well, that's going to be hard. I've had a baby, so I kind of want to be on Earth in a hospital with doctors and medicine. But, you know, like leading that mission on Mars, right? Usually, fine, we're going to put a woman on Mars in the first, a woman on the moon in the first. But is she leading that mission? Is she the commander of that mission? Is she making the decisions? That's going to be success, and then we're going to go to Mars and beyond. And my husband makes fun of me, but that's where we're going. That's where we're going. That's in my lifetime. I want to see that. So.
Awesome.
Thank you. What's your challenge to the room? We got Lisa.
I'll go. So I'll issue a challenge that a mentor of mine issued to me. It was someone that spoke to my college class, and I saw her up there in her business suit, and she'd written a book, and I was 20, and like every woman I knew was like, you know, a teacher or something. Like I didn't even know business women existed, despite the fact that I was a business major. And so I looked her up recently, and she's had like 4 careers since then. And I was sort of at an impasse, and I went to go see her. And she said, when was the last time you did something you were uncomfortable with?
Mm.
When was the last time you did something where you thought you were going to fail? When was the last time you put yourself in a room where all the people were smarter than you? And I was embarrassed to say it had been a while. And so I'm making some changes based on those questions. But I would ask you all the same question. When was the last time you did something? To your point, you think you have to have 90% of the things. When was the last time you went for something where you thought you only had 10% of the qualifications? When was the last time you got yourself in that room where you were the least qualified one in the room? And she threw the gauntlet down. It meant a lot to me, so I'll throw it out to you.
Because men do it all the time. Men do it all the time.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Colonel.
Here we go. All right. So my dare to you all is to get your PhD. Oh, wait, not school. We're not talking about that.
Oh.
When I talk about PhD, I'm talking about what's your power? What makes you hangry? And where is your dot? Let me explain quickly. Your power, your passion, each and every one of you has it within you. No matter your organization, there's something that you're bringing to the fight that no one else has. You need to dip into that power and share it with others. It is essential because you are the only you that has it. So if you don't share it, we don't know where it is. Once you find your power, then I want you to figure out what makes you hangry. Now, y'all know when you're hangry, your stomach is empty, you get irritable. I am the worst. I need Snickers. I keep snacks in all the places because I will use bad words whenever I'm really hangry. But when I talk about hangry, I mean that intersection of what's going on in society that makes you angry, right? What just piques you? What is a trigger is another word for it that's happening in society. And how does that cross section with something that you have your heart's desire to change? For example, for me, what makes me angry about society is whenever African-American men and women are dying from diseases at a disproportionate rate than others. That bothers me. That bothers me. And then it crosses with my heart's desire of being healthy and fit. And so I create a space for women of color to come together, to be fit, to talk about our health issues and those types of things. But that may be something different for you. What makes you hangry? And then when you have all those things, all of us need that accountability. Right? Because we'll say we want to do great things, but then Monday morning hits, you're like, I'm going to do it Tuesday, snooze. So the D is your dot. And when you get a little bit older, you can get that dot. Right now you have a circle of friends, right? They're all over the place. Facebook friends, Instagram fans are all out there. But your dot is so small. It is that true connection that will keep you grounded, that will tell you when your stuff stinks, will tell you when you're wrong, will lift you up and say, you know what, you can do better. They think more about you than you think about yourself, and that lifts you up. Find your dot. I have that, and they're in this room, and they keep me from being lazy. They really do. So find your power, find what makes you hangry, make a plan to do something about it, to be determined, and then find your dot that's going to keep you accountable for what you had said you were going to do last week.
I love
So,
it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. There it is.
Can we just give a round of applause for our panelists? Are you kidding me? I am getting, oh my gosh, thank you so much. We are full. What a remarkable group of women. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us to amplify you. Thank you for allowing us to shine the light on you. Because when we do that, it reflects back on us, and we become smarter, and we become better. So thank you so much.
Thank
One
you.
more.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm choking up. I want to thank my team. If you're a part of the Amplify team, and you might be wearing purple today, can you guys wave your hands and stand up? And if you're in the back, can you come forward a little bit? Thank you guys. Thank you all so very much. Thank you for rising to the challenge. Thank you to Luz. Is she here? Is she around? Come on.
There
Thank
she
you
is.
for doing something that made you uncomfortable and saying yes. When I said I want to have a little party with women, do you want to lead it? You said yes. You had no idea. But thank you. I amplify you. I want to thank the men of AI Solutions. This looks great, but we couldn't have done it without the men of AI Solutions. So I thank them. I applaud them. Special shout out, I hope he's watching, to Shannon Terry, our marketing manager. So imagine he had 12 weeks of meeting with an office full of women virtually, and he was the only guy. Imagine that. But everything from what emotions of the letters, getting all of our graphics right, he nailed it. Shannon, I amplify you. So thank you so very much. Thank you. You did an amazing job. We have one other gentleman that we want to amplify tonight, and we want to say thank you to.
Absolutely. So
you.
tonight, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our president and CEO, Bob Sperling.
Where's my jar of pickles? Where's my jar of pickles?
All right. Well, ladies, we have a CEO, obviously, who is not afraid to fill up this space with 100 women. But it's no wonder that he's comfortable with women, because he grew up with two sisters, Tammy and Brenda. And the three women executives that he likes to call his rebels very affectionately. Rebels. And Bob is one more very important piece of the puzzle, a successful mom, Miss Kay.
Yes.
So thank you, Bob, for encouraging and supporting this event tonight.
Thank you, Bob.
As a successful entrepreneur, Bob appreciates that some of the credit for his phenomenal achievements go to his parents. And in particular, Bob's mother, Kay, who herself was a successful entrepreneur in her own right. Kay started a school supply store, and Bob likely received some of his entrepreneurial drive and skill traits from his mom. But don't take it from me. We're going to let Ms. Kay tell her own story.
Hi, my name is Kay Sperling. I live in Mohawk, New York. For some of you who don't know where that is, it's also known as Mohawk Valley or upstate New York. I am happy to share my story with you today. I worked for over 20 years in sales and marketing, and I really enjoyed my work. But after that time, I decided it was time for something else. So I had always had an idea of starting my own business, but I didn't really know what or how to start. One of my girlfriends, who was also a school teacher, mentioned to me that there was a need for a school supply store. And with my family's encouragement, I decided to go for it. I opened a store and called it KB School Supplies. It was in 2002. And I remained open until 2007. At that time, 2 school teachers who had previously asked me if I ever decided to sell, that they would be interested. So they ended up buying out my store in its entirety. I have a feeling, personally, I think women have come a long ways, made a lot of progress in the business world. And I think they need to keep doing what they're doing. I think they need to believe in themselves and what they can accomplish, and then they will always succeed. Good luck to you all. One more thing. Happy birthday, son.
So, Bob, your mom is really great at keeping secrets, obviously, because she's watching at home tonight. And Miss Kay, we appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for planting the seed with this man right here, Bob, to have confidence in women. So tonight, we present the very first Amplify Award to you.
It's okay. You can overcome it.
And we got 3.
There you go.
The 3 rebels. So I think it's time to pass out the champagne.
No, now I'm going to take the stage. I think my voice, is my voice loud enough? Oh, okay, the internet.
Internet.
Okay, hello, YouTube. So, first of all, I want to thank CJ who led this. This came off, first we were talking about women in STEM, and it evolved to amplify women in just broader industries. God bless. Rockstar. These are my 3 rock stars here. I listened to all the panelists. A lot of things resonated with what you said. Your passion, don't let anything get in your way, just a lot of just really good things. I'm humbled to be here. I'm proud to be able to facilitate the leadership of these rock stars. And so that's how I feel. My mother. I told Silvana, she's not here. She's taking care of our fur babies at home. But I told her my whole goal tonight was not to cry. So, so obviously I failed miserably. And, Christy and I are very emotional people, a lot of them, but she just, you all set me up. Mama Kay, there's no way I can, yeah. So I know she's, okay, fine. But anyways, what I heard tonight and the interaction here, it brings a new perspective. I'm privileged to be here to listen to, the challenges that you all face. And it's, I think things have gotten better since 10 years ago. Things need to get better in the next 10 years. And let's focus on that. And if you can't tell, I'm a huge advocate of that.
Yeah.
So obviously, anyways, thank you all for coming.
Keep it moving.
And
Everybody get a glass of champagne.
Oh, Marissa. Jack,
Oh,
something.
I want to say 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bob. Happy birthday to you. Now we know we won the birthday party.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Yes, we're going to raise a glass.
We're gonna
All right.
drop 'em once.
Hang on.
All right. So we're going to raise our glasses to Bob for this incredible event and the support of women everywhere. Thank you so much.
All right. I'm watching too much of Great Expectations.
All right. Well, thank everybody for coming tonight. Please stay, eat some food, drink some more women-made beer, women-made wine. It's all women. It's all of us. So mingle. Most importantly, mingle. Get to meet each other and enjoy yourselves. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for watching this presentation of Amplify Her Voice, a Fireside Chat. Be sure to follow us on social media. We'd love to stay connected with you.